Hi and welcome on another one of our virtual Yellowstone tours. Today we're at the Upper Geyser Basin again, and we're going to be visiting one of Yellowstone's what I call Big Five geysers. But this time, instead of starting in the Old Faithful Inn area, we're starting our little hike to Daisy Geyser on the other side from the Grand Loop Road. And if you do come this way and take this little walk, I do suggest that you bring your bear spray with you. I always take the safety off, just in case, because if we do come across a bear all of a sudden, you don't want to be messing around trying to remove the safety, so you can use the bear spray. That's the Firehole River straight ahead of us. You can see thermal features on both sides. Those of you who've seen others of these videos will know that there hasn't been a bear attack on a group of 6 or more people in the Yellowstone area. But the fewer the people, the greater the chance there is of a bear attack. And today, it's just me and Amber, one of our team at our West Yellowstone office. As you can see from this trail, the vast majority of people who visit the Upper Geyser Basin go and park their cars in the parking lots around Old Faithful Inn and the Visitor Center and Old Faithful Lodge, and then walk to the geysers from that side. I wanted to show you what it was like doing it in a slightly different way. We can see thermal features once again right next to the river. I mentioned before you could probably do a whole book of photos on dead trees in Yellowstone. There's some really stunning shapes. And once again, those of you who watch a few of these videos will know that the Firehole River is a thermal river. And what that means is there's water flowing from the thermal features into the river from the geysers and the hot springs. Look at this little pool. It's one of the beauties of taking this trail. You don't want to get too close to any of these pools or any of the thermal features, because you could go straight through the ground. So look at those bubbles coming up. Bear experts say that when you're in areas like these, you really should make a lot of noise so you don't surprise a bear. Notice the markings on the trees. This will be a cross-country ski trail in the winter, and so you can see where the trail goes. We can see markings on that tree ahead of us as well. Notice the snags up there. The snag, once again, is a standing dead tree. It looks like there was some buffalo here. And we're back alongside the Firehole River. Quite a few more snags in this area, aren't there? If memory serves me correctly, I think that's black sand pool over there. Now I know that black sand basin is all the way back over there, but still, I believe that's the name of that pool. So even though this is the 3rd of July, you can still have Yellowstone to yourself if you know where to go. We haven't seen one other person out. And we can see steam again over there and straight ahead of us. So we're clearly approaching the thermal areas, and what's called the Daisy group is off in that direction. By the Daisy group I mean that there's a number of thermal features there, and they take their name after the main geyser in the area. You've got Daisy Geyser, Splendid Geyser, Brilliant Pool, and I think the other one was Crescent. It looks like there's people there waiting for Daisy. Too bad we just can't cut across the meadow, isn't it? But you generally don't want to walk anywhere where there's not a boardwalk near a thermal feature. Oh, and here's our first person. We've just watched Daisy Geyser erupt, and we're going to head back towards the main trail that runs between Morning Glory and Old Faithful. When we came in on this mission to photograph this to photograph this geyser, we came in on this trail. We hiked up from the Grand Loop Road. And while we're up here, we're going to be heading off to check out the main system. Old Faithful Inn off in the background over there. on that trail ahead of us. If you turn right, you would head up in the general direction of the buildings at Old Faithful, and if you turn left, as we're going to do, you'll make your way down towards Morning Glory. So that is the trail back up towards Old Faithful, and just so you can orientate yourself, we can see giant geyser through the trees. Very distinctive geyser, really only is maybe half a geyser at the moment. And then if we carry on in this direction, we'll be coming to Grotto Geyser on our right shortly. That's where you can see all that steam. Here we are, passing Grotto. And if you head off in that direction, that's towards the so-called Geyser Hill. And this is Grotto again. We're still on the trail down to Morning Glory from Old Faithful. This is where you would turn off to go to Riverside Geyser. And this is Little Spa Geyser, although it looks more like a hot spring now, doesn't it? This started off as a beautiful sunny day, and now the weather has turned a bit, unfortunately. Notice how beautifully blue and clear that hot spring is, with the warmer colors, the oranges and the browns right at the edge. Then if we take a look at this hot spring over here, this is probably something like Morning Glory. That's a very healthy hot spring. That one may be dying, looking at the abundance of warmer colors, and I'll explain more about that when we get to Morning Glory. We've just passed the turn-off to Riverside Geyser, which is behind us on the right, and we're continuing on our way down to Morning Glory Pool. If we go upstream along the Firehole River, we can see Riverside right over there. And we're getting pretty close to Morning Glory. Old Faithful is back up that way. And the Firehole River is flowing out of the Upper Geyser Basin. As I mentioned before, the weather turns a little bit on us. Blue skies and sunshine have given way to those really dark grey clouds as we approach Morning Glory. Morning Glory is really an amazing color, isn't it? But the reason it is such an amazing color is that the pool is dying, the hot spring is dying. What happens is, when a pool is very, very hot, like some of those very blue ones that I've shown you, there's very few organisms that can live in there. There's a few what's called thermophiles, which are basically heat-loving bacteria which can survive in there. But when the pool's plumbing starts to get clogged up, or when earthquakes, for example, affect the plumbing of the pool, it means that less and less hot water is able to get up to the top. The temperature of the hot spring starts cooling down, and more living organisms are able to survive. So when you see a pool that has all these brilliant colors, unfortunately, it does mean that it is dying. The really healthy pools are the ones that are more of that vivid blue color, or very, very clear. That over there is Morning Glory, and unfortunately the weather had turned, and we were going to make our way back the same way that we came in, going back up towards Daisy Geyser and then taking the trail down to the Grand Loop Road. But as the weather has turned, we thought, why don't we try this trail over here, which is the Artemisia Trail. It goes past the Artemisia Geyser and various other thermal features. That there is Morning Glory Pool, one of the most beautiful hot springs in Yellowstone. Look how beautiful that blue-gray hot spring is. The Firehole River, by the way, is off over there. You may be able to see it through the trees. And I'm going to stop filming, and when we come across another thermal feature or anything else of interest, I will start filming again. But before I do that, remember, if you're going to be on one of these more remote trails, even though you're so close to a well-known area, make sure that you take your bear spray with you. You never know when you may come across a bear. It looks like there's some thermal features right next to the river, so we're going to go take a look. That's Amber ahead of me. She's one of our West Yellowstone team. And just as we come down to the river, the sun comes out. The steam that I saw was coming out of this pool over here. There's also that across the river. This is just such a beautiful sight anyway. And there's a buffalo there, grazing away peacefully by itself. This is Artemisia Geyser, as you probably saw from that sign. And there is the Grand Loop Road. We parked our car at the Daisy Geyser Trailhead, which is off in that direction over there, so we have a short walk.
Out of shape and being able to enjoy it. It's like, I don't know, it's interesting.
That's Black Sand Basin across the way. And another buffalo. Thank you for joining me on another one of our virtual Yellowstone tours. If you enjoy this virtual Yellowstone tour series, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you in Yellowstone.